I'm going to show you how to install the button repair kit in the Uniden DCX750 series phone. This is a model DCT756. There's a few different models that look the same. And we got a repair kit to repair all the buttons, or it's mostly for these here. These are the most common to fail. But if you do have any of the other buttons failing, it'll solve that as well. So let's get started. Just take apart the battery cover. This one's pretty stiff, but now there's 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing one on this phone, but there's 4 screws there and only one inside. The one inside is shorter than these, so you want to keep them separate. Just put those in the battery cover lid. Now, to get the phone apart, I work from the back, and this is just coming apart really easy. If it gives you any trouble, you don't want to rip it apart, but you want to apply some pressure. Yeah, and this is coming apart really easy. There's a snap right there where the belt clip hooks on. There's a snap under there. If it is stiff, what I like to do is pry this apart a little bit and put some pressure and slide a flathead screwdriver up as far as I can, and then just give it a little tweak. You're not jamming it in or prying or damaging the plastic. It should come apart. Now there's an antenna wire that goes up into here, so you want to slide the top off like that, and you can see that wire fits in there. So, and you've also got a speaker here. You got to be careful not to just rip this apart, because you'll tear that speaker wire right out. Then we have one screw right up here at the top. It's right there. And this one is smaller. And then to open the phone up, you just grab these metal charger pins and you can lift it up. Now there's also a wire here, so I'm going to like flip this over like that. Now I'll show you here, we have a white plastic film with a little bump, snap dome bumps. So these pop back down, and there's little black conductive paint dots on there. But you'll see on those buttons that fail, they don't have the dots. They use conductive pills on the keypad, and those are the ones that fail first. These can fail too, but it'll be this stuff scraping off. You can kind of see it's starting. You can see lines where it's kind of starting to wear out. But if you do have problems with that, I'll show you how to fix that also. Now, this is pretty easy. The first thing you want to do is clean off this circuit board. And I usually just use a rag and some rubbing alcohol, like that, and I clean it off. You want to get any oil and dirt off of those buttons. You don't want to soak down the microphone down here with rubbing alcohol, but if you're just putting it on the rag and doing this, it'll be fine. If you have a lot on this, the cleaners will damage these painted discs really quickly. So you might just use a dry rag on this side. And if it's really oily on this, you could either use a dry, or you could use a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the rag. If your keypad is oily or dirty, you might want to just take it right out, bring it over to the kitchen sink, run it with some hot water and soap, let it dry off, and put it back in. When you do put it back in, make sure none of the buttons, the rubber buttons, are stuck like crooked, like say this one here, because that'll hold a button down permanently and none of the buttons will work. So just get all those buttons in through there. So this is pretty easy to do. You just take the repair piece. It says top, but that's towards the front of the phone, and we've got the phone upside down. So I'm going to flip that over and put it right on the rubber keypad. It's got notches cut out to fit around the posts and everything. And then this goes back in on top of that, and the black dots need to be facing towards you here. They need to touch the circuit board. And that's it. I'm going to flip this back around. that one screw back in there. And carefully spin that around and just put that wire in there. And it snaps together. I'm not going to put the screws back in. I've got a power supply hooked up. His battery was dead. So, please wait. So these are the buttons that are most common to fail that we repaired. Now these all buttons right now are still using the white plastic dome. If you do have a problem with that, you can keep watching. If you don't, you're all set. I'm going to take it apart again. Now, if any of these, the paint is rubbing off enough so that the button's hard to work, once you've had this repair kit put in, you can just take a standard hole punch. I like to make it so I can see where I'm cutting by lifting that door. And I'm just going to pick, let's see, that's 2, 4, 6, 7, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 5 in the middle there. So I'll just center it and pop it out. There we go. And I'm going to put it back in. Of course, if you don't have the black layer popping out that circle, it's going to make the button not work at all. Now, the little the white plastic layer kind of gives you a clicking feedback that you push the button. So 5 works now, but it doesn't feel the same as the other ones. But it does work. Better than not working at all. So that's it.